For nearly 2 decades, one question has followed Jada Pinkett Smith through interviews, talk shows, tabloid headlines, and even her own memoir. Is she, or has she ever been, a Scientologist? She has answered that question publicly, repeatedly, for almost 20 years. The answer has always been the same. No, she is not a member of the Church of Scientology. But the question never fully went away. A school she and Will Smith founded became the subject of a major investigative report. Former staff members went on record with specific, detailed allegations. A famous ex-Scientologist publicly named her in a best-selling memoir, and Pinkett Smith's own book later confirmed parts of the story that she had previously downplayed. Because nearly 20 years later, the same mystery still exists. Not because nobody investigated it, but because the evidence has always pointed in 2 different directions. And when you separate the facts from the allegations and the rumors from the documented record, the picture becomes far more complicated than most people realize. Because the deeper you dig into this story, the harder it becomes to place Jada Pinkett Smith into a simple category. This is how the rumors started. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett met on the set of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in 1995 and married in 1997. As both of their careers grew through the late 1990s and 2000s, they became part of a tight social circle of major Hollywood names. Among those friendships was a close relationship with Tom Cruise, and, for a period, Katie Holmes, by far the most publicly identified Scientologist couple in the entertainment industry. The Smiths attended Cruise and Holmes' 2005 wedding, and the family socialized regularly throughout the mid-2000s. Proximity to Cruise was, on its own, enough to generate speculation. Cruise's association with Scientology has been a matter of public record for decades, and any close friend of his has historically faced some version of the same question. Are you involved too? Smith addressed this directly as early as 2009, stating plainly that he was not a member of the church. Pinkett Smith made similar statements around the same period. Then a school the couple founded turned the speculation into something much larger. And that's where this story stopped being Hollywood gossip and became something far more complicated. The school that triggered the controversy. If there is a single reason this controversy survived for nearly 2 decades, it is what happened next. Nearly every allegation, denial, and controversy in this story eventually leads back to one place. In 2008, the Smiths founded the New Village Leadership Academy, a private elementary school that opened its doors in Calabasas, California, in September 2009. It operated until 2013, when it quietly closed. From the start, the school used something called study technology, a learning methodology developed by L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. Study technology is promoted by Applied Scholastics, a Scientology-affiliated organization founded in 1972. Pinkett Smith addressed the connection directly in a 2009 statement to ABC News, describing study technology as a secular methodology intended to help students better understand what is being studied and apply it to real life, and stating in an Ebony interview that same year, "All I can say is it is not a Scientology school." But former staff members later described something considerably more specific. Jacqueline Olivier, who co-founded and ran the school for its first year, told the Daily Beast in 2020 that she was required to take classes at Scientology's Celebrity Center and at Applied Scholastics before she fully understood what she was being asked to teach. "They never mentioned Scientology," Olivier said. "But I remember they sent me the L. Ron Hubbard books, and I didn't put it together. It just seemed like a great opportunity."
That you spend the most amount of time with, that's who you are.
Well, then you didn't get my PRs thing earlier. PRs is when, like,
No. You're gonna break your own head.
Olivier said she discovered that most of the teachers working in the Smiths household were Scientologists, and that she was personally instructed by Pinkett Smith to take study technology courses. She described a specific practice called word clearing, in which a child yawning during a lesson was treated as a sign of a misunderstood word, requiring an extended dictionary exercise, a technique she called fundamentally unworkable with young children. There were pictures of L. Ron Hubbard on the walls, she told one outlet. It was total Scientology. There's no question. Olivier also said she was eventually removed from her position over disagreements about the curriculum and was replaced by Piano Foster, a Scientologist married to the Smiths' personal trainer. ABC News reported in 2009 that tax filings from the Smiths Charitable Foundation showed combined donations of $122,500 that year to groups affiliated with the Church of Scientology, out of $1.3 million given to a range of religious and civic organizations overall. On its own, the donation proved nothing, but for critics, it became another piece of a much larger puzzle. Carnegie Mellon computer science professor David Turetsky, described by ABC News as the most prominent academic critic of study technology, offered a blunt assessment at the time. What they seem to have is some sort of a hybrid. Scientology repackaged for the Hollywood crowd. It's hitting all the politically correct elements, but snuck in there is this Scientology stuff. The Church of Scientology itself, through spokeswoman Karen Powell, declined to confirm or deny any relationship with the school when contacted by ABC News, referring all questions back to the school directly. By this point, the controversy was no longer based on rumors. It was based on a growing collection of documented facts and competing interpretations. Former staff and former Scientologists speak out. Olivier was not the only former staff member to go on record. The Daily Beast's 2020 investigation spoke with 4 former teachers and administrators from New Village Leadership Academy, describing an internal culture clash between non-Scientologist staff Olivier had hired and Scientologist staff brought in by the Smiths. Robotics instructor Krishna Jawaharlal told the outlet, "My feeling is that Jada was really into Scientology, and Will was sort of whatever, but he took all the courses too."
In Scientology, that calls for the utter destruction of a critic of Scientology.
Got it.
You get trained on how to do this. You first deal with it with a laugh, like it's boring. And the second thing is to discredit the facts. That's why I said, then Jada's a Scientologist, because there's no reason for Jada to be doing that other than fair gaming me.
Just so you know, I wasn't fair gaming you on Andy Cohen. I wasn't fair gaming you.
Queenie Johnson, who taught there from 2009 to 2013 and said she was not a Scientologist herself, said the school gradually phased out the practices over time, though other former staff disputed how complete that change really was. Separately, former Scientologist and actress Leah Remini raised the issue publicly in her 2015 memoir, Troublemaker: Surviving Hollywood and Scientology, describing an incident at Tom Cruise's home where the Smiths joined a group game while Remini declined to participate.
Tom's house, and if he wanted to play hide and seek with everybody, but she didn't want to play or it didn't happen.
Right.
The book did not allege that the Smiths were practicing Scientologists, but the passage reignited public speculation, and in a follow-up interview with the Daily Beast in 2017, Remini stated more directly that she believed Pinkett Smith was a Scientologist. Tony Ortega, a journalist who has covered the Church of Scientology for over a decade as publisher of The Underground Bunker, told the Daily Beast in 2020 that based on his own reporting and conversations with people close to the family, his understanding was that Will was sort of a dabbler who dabbled in everything, and Jada was the hardcore Scientologist during the period the school was operating. Though Ortega also said that in his assessment, the Smiths were not currently involved with the church at the time of his comment. None of these accounts constitute confirmation that Pinkett Smith was or is a member of the Church of Scientology. They are specifically the on-record claims of named former staff, a named journalist who covers the organization, and a named former member who had her own public dispute with Pinkett Smith over the issue. But they ensured the controversy would not disappear. The Tom Cruise connection. By itself, the friendship proved nothing. But when combined with everything happening at the school, it became much harder for the public to ignore. The friendship with Tom Cruise is one of the most frequently cited reasons the speculation persisted as long as it did. Cruise has been Scientology's most visible public face for decades. Any close, ongoing friendship with him invites an obvious question, fairly or not, about whether that closeness extends to shared religious practice.
The Smiths, close friends of the Cruise-Holmes clan, attended the couple's wedding in Italy last year. Pinkett Smith says she's amazed that people think Holmes is tied up in the basement and that Cruise throws steaks to her at night.
The 2005 wedding to Katie Holmes, the recurring dinner parties Remini described in her memoir, the hide-and-seek incident at Cruise's home that both Remini and Pinkett Smith later discussed publicly with different interpretations of the same evening. These were all real, documented social events. What they prove is a friendship. What they do not prove on their own is religious affiliation. Pinkett Smith has consistently drawn that exact distinction herself. On Watch What Happens Live, she described the hide-and-seek game as nothing more than adults goofing off with their kids at a friend's house, not evidence of anything beyond a normal social evening among friends. But while critics continued connecting the dots, Jada herself was becoming increasingly specific about where she stood. Jada's own side of the story. If this story has one surprising element, it is how often Jada Pinkett Smith has addressed it directly. If anything, the volume and consistency of her responses over nearly 20 years is itself part of the story. In 2009, addressing the school directly, she said, "All I can say is, it is not a Scientology school. Now, if you don't trust me, and you are questioning my integrity, that's a whole different matter. That is straight evil to think that I would bring families into that educational institution, and then try to get them to convert into some religion." In September 2017, after Remini's Daily Beast interview reignited the speculation, Pinkett Smith posted directly on Twitter, "I have prayed in mosques all over the world, but I am not a Muslim. I have read the Bhagavad Gita, but I am not a Hindu. I have chanted and meditated in some of the most magnificent temples on earth, but I am not a Buddhist. I have studied Dianetics and appreciate the merits of study tech, but I am not a Scientologist. I practice human kindness, and I believe that we each have the right to determine what we are and what we are not."
Fair game is a policy in Scientology that calls for the utter destruction of a critic of Scientology.
Got it.
You get trained on how to do this. You first deal with it with a laugh, like it's boring, and the second thing is to discredit the facts. That's why I said, then Jada's a Scientologist, because there's no reason for Jada to be doing that other than fair gaming.
In 2018, she invited Remini onto Red Table Talk to address the feud directly. On air, she stated plainly that she and Will were not Scientologists, while acknowledging she had taken courses at the church's Celebrity Center and had been interested in study tech specifically as a teaching methodology. The two women reconciled by the end of the episode, with Remini apologizing for not considering how her public comments had affected the Smith family. Then, in 2023, Pinkett Smith's memoir, Worthy, added new details she had not previously discussed at length. She wrote that she had embraced the church's basic study manual while homeschooling her children Jaden and Willow, and that she did not hold the same stigma towards Scientology that many people do, given her own lifelong habit of studying many different religious and philosophical traditions. She also confirmed putting her father through Narconon, a Scientology-affiliated addiction recovery program, after a relapse. She maintained, as she always had, a clear line. Studying Scientology-derived material, including study tech and Dianetics, was not the same as being a member of the church. I was very clear when I stepped into the Church of Scientology that becoming a member would not be possible, nor was it my goal, she wrote. The stronger the rumors became, the more detailed her responses became, moving from a flat denial in 2009 to a specific documented account of exactly what she had studied and why, 14 years later. Why the question never fully stopped. Most celebrity rumors fade after a single denial. This one did not, and the reasons are fairly identifiable. First, the denials were never absolute. Pinkett Smith repeatedly drew a distinction between studying Scientology-derived material and being a formal member, a nuanced position that satisfied some observers and struck others as evasive. Second, named former employees of the school made specific, detailed, on-record claims that went well beyond vague rumor, describing exact practices, exact personnel decisions, and exact financial relationships with Scientology-affiliated organizations. Third, the story kept producing new documented material over time rather than fading. The 2009 ABC News report, the 2015 Remini memoir, the 2017 Twitter statement, the 2018 Red Table Talk reconciliation, the 2020 Daily Beast investigation with 4 named former staff, the 2023 memoir confirming new specifics. Each one kept the story alive for an audience that had mostly moved on between cycles. Fourth, and perhaps most simply, the New Village Leadership Academy was a real institution that genuinely used study technology, genuinely employed Scientologist staff according to multiple named sources, and genuinely closed under circumstances the Smiths never fully explained publicly. That is not rumor. That is a documented institution with a documented curriculum. What we actually know. After nearly 20 years of headlines, accusations, denials, and investigations, the most important question becomes surprisingly simple. What can actually be proven? It is worth separating this story into 3 distinct categories, because each one carries a different level of certainty. Confirmed facts. Jada Pinkett Smith has stated, in her own words, that she studied Dianetics and study technology, took courses at Scientology's Celebrity Center, embraced the church's basic study manual while homeschooling her children, and put her father through the Scientology-affiliated Narconon program. The New Village Leadership Academy used study technology as a teaching method and closed in 2013. The Smiths Charitable Foundation donated $122,500 to Scientology-affiliated groups in 2008, according to tax filings reviewed by ABC News. Allegations from named sources. Former school co-founder Jacqueline Olivier claims the school was effectively built around Scientology practice and that she personally was required to take church-affiliated courses. Multiple other former staff members, speaking to the Daily Beast, described similar internal dynamics. Journalist Tony Ortega has said, based on his own sourcing, that he believes Pinkett Smith was significantly more involved than Will Smith during this period. What remains unconfirmed? Whether Pinkett Smith was ever a formal member of the Church of Scientology. She has denied this consistently and specifically for nearly 2 decades, drawing a clear distinction between studying material associated with the church and joining the organization itself. No public document, financial record, or named source in any of the reporting referenced in this video states that she held formal membership. That distinction between documented study and confirmed membership is the entire hinge on which this story turns. Why the mystery endures. Nearly 2 decades after the New Village Leadership Academy first opened, the story survives for one simple reason. It never produced a clean answer. Supporters point to Pinkett Smith's consistent, specific, repeated denials that grew more detailed rather than less over time, which is not typically how someone behaves when they are simply hoping a story will go away. Critics point to the school's documented curriculum, the named former staff who described it as built around Scientology practice, and the donation records connecting the family's foundation to church-affiliated organizations.
We're all on a journey towards self-worth in some form or fashion, all of us, right? I think that it is a universal theme.
Both positions are supported by real, documented evidence. Neither position fully resolves the other. Whether people believe there was a deeper connection, or simply a genuine, if unconventional, educational experiment that drew on methods Pinkett Smith found personally useful, the debate itself became part of her public story. And that, more than any single allegation or any single denial, may be exactly why the question refuses to go away. Because the story was never really about a yes or no answer. It was about the space between documented facts and public suspicion. And nearly 20 years later, that space still hasn't been fully closed. Which means the debate may continue for years to come. Not because there are no answers, but because this story contains just enough documented facts to raise questions, and just enough uncertainty to prevent those questions from ever being fully settled. So here is the question we want you to answer. After hearing all the evidence, do you believe Jada's explanation fully answers the questions surrounding the school, or do you think important questions still remain? Let us know your answer in the comments below.